Can't get to Stonehenge in Amesbury, Wiltshire, England? No worries. I found 2 stone replicas, one in Texas and one in Washington State. As far as Stonehenge in Odessa, Texas, we will show you around during the day and at night, which is extra beautiful. Then let's cross the Columbia River to see a war memorial at Stonehenge in Maryhill. But you will want to hang on to see the special Bright Star Memorial not far from Odessa Stonehenge. Again, we will be showing this unique memorial to a truly tragic event both during the day and at nighttime. This is going to be a thought-provoking memorial journey. Travel across America with me. Let's start at night to see the captivating Stonehenge on the campus of the University of Texas Permian Basin in Odessa. The replica is located on Preston Smith Road off East 42nd Street. Simply walking through the towering stones is a unique experience. The way both the sunlight and the artificial lighting strikes the stones is stunning. It took members of the university's art department about 6 weeks to create this replica back in 2004. The 30 to 40,000 pound stones were donated by Techstone Quarries. The replica is the same length as the original horizontally, but slightly shorter vertically. For some reason, information about the English Stonehenge is cloaked in mystery. It is said that it was built over a period of 1,500 to 2,000 years. The original Stonehenge is thought to have been a calendar, telling the sunrise and sunset at summer and winter solstice. Well, of course it was. Stonehenge is designed as an observatory. I heard there are more. I'm making a list. Some art stoneworks, for example, the one in Alliance, Nebraska, which we went to years ago, is made of painted vehicles. The Stonehenge replica here in Odessa consists of 20 limestone blocks that are arranged in the same layout as the original, but measure about 70% the height. The tallest stone at the original Stonehenge is 22 feet tall, while the tallest at the Odessa Stonehenge is 19 feet tall. Each stone weighs anywhere from 15 to 20 tons and were moved from the quarry 2 at a time on tractor trailers. I bet that was a sight to behold. Once the stones arrived, they were lifted into place and seated on cement footings made of reinforced concrete. I like searching for fossils in the stones as we pass through. Let's walk across the street to the heel stone. During the summer solstice at sunrise, the heel stone casts a shadow that penetrates directly into the center of the monument. Stonehenge operates like an astronomical observatory. Its use as an ancient calendar is well established. The first phase of construction consisted of a bank and an inner ditch. That's the henge. So stone means stone, henge means ditch. With an opening in the northeast segment aligning with the midsummer sunrise. The large pointed stone here across the street east of the monument is called the heel stone. It marks the summer solstice and, in the original, would have aligned with an opening in the northeast segment of the bank, an inner ditch, the henge. Now here are the approximate dates of solar alignments. The vernal equinox, March 21st. The length of day and night are equal, the first day of the spring season. And then there's a summer solstice, June 21st. The longest day of the year and the first day of the summer season. That's my favorite day of the year. Then the autumnal equinox, September 21st. The length of day and night are equal, the first day of the autumn season. And then there's the winter solstice, December 21st, the shortest day of the year, the first day of the winter season. Visitors to this site should make a point of arriving before dawn on these special dates. Now to Maryhill Stonehenge in Washington. Remember to hang on for our return to Odessa to the Bright Star Memorial. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We're crossing the mighty Columbia River into Washington, the Evergreen State. I'm taking you to Stonehenge. This is Sam Hill country. In 1908, Samuel Hill bought 7,000 acres on these slopes. He planned a Quaker farming colony, surveyed a 34-block town site, and built a church, hotel, store, offices, garage, and shops. His engineers built 10 miles of experimental roads. As Washington's first rural paved roads, they proved Hill's zeal as a promoter of highways. 3 miles to the west, he began construction of an old-world chateau, which in 1940 was completed as the Maryhill Museum of Art. In 1918 to 1929, Hill constructed the Stonehenge Replica, America's first World War I memorial, on the original site of his hotel. Fire eventually destroyed the buildings of the never-occupied town site, leaving only Stonehenge,
roads, and stonework, and the museum as monuments to the vision and energy of this public-spirited American. The structure before you is the first monument in our nation to military personnel who gave their lives in World War I. It is also a lasting reminder of the works of Samuel Hill, patron of this region. The design duplicates in size and original form England's famous Stonehenge, which is dated 1900 to 1300 BC. On Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire. When Hill, a Quaker pacifist, visited England during the 1914 through 1918 conflict, he saw Stonehenge and was told it had been used for human sacrifices to pagan gods. He remarked, "After all our civilization, the flower of humanity still is being sacrificed to the god of war on battlefields." From that inspiration came this monument built by Hill. On July 4, 1918, the altar stone was dedicated. The full structure was completed and dedicated May 30th, 1929. Current belief is that Stonehenge was a device used by astronomers to measure time and mark seasons of the year by observing positions of the sun and moon. The diagram at left suggests how the original may have been used by the ingenious builders. Here are plaques of some of the men who are being recognized at Stonehenge. In Maryhill, Washington, in memory of the soldiers and sailors of Cloaked County who gave their lives in defense of their country. This monument is erected in the hope that others inspired by the example of their valor and their heroism may share in that love of liberty and burn with that fire of patriotism which death alone can quench. Maryhill Museum manages a 6,000-acre land conservancy that includes much of the landscape visible from where you are standing. Leave a comment below. Tell me about the war memorials that you have visited.
Before we arrived in Odessa, a friend shared with me a photo of the Bright Star Memorial located on the far southeast corner of the UTPB campus. After seeing his photographs and hearing about the tragedy from locals in Midland the week before we arrived in Odessa, we made plans to go see Stonehenge at night and then go over to the Bright Star Memorial as soon as we could. The memorial appeared unique and stunning, and I couldn't wait to get there. After parking in the soccer field lot and asking a police officer about the whereabouts of the trail to reach the Bright Star Memorial, we found the trail semi-hidden by large vehicles parked along the roadside. But adding to our dismay was the sight of the orange safety fence blocking the path in two directions. We found the signage, but could see in the distance the site of the memorial and that the centerpiece was not lit. Bummer! We found a different parking lot on the south side off University Boulevard, but the path was unlit. I had also been told by another friend that he'd seen coyotes out in that area of the campus. So, between the chilly temperatures, no lighting, and being unsure of exactly how far we would need to walk, and of course that coyote story, and what if we couldn't even get to it? We chose to return and go back during the day. The weather all week remained cool, windy, and gloomy, but we made another attempt. As we got closer, we found more orange safety fencing blocking the path from that direction and saw construction equipment moving about the memorial. We tried. A big shout out to Jesse for telling us about this special place and sharing his photos with me so I could share them with you. This is a special place for him, as one of his co-workers was a victim of this horrific event that shocked Midland, Odessa. The Bright Star Memorial Design. At the center of the Bright Star Memorial Plaza stands a 5-foot diameter, 11-foot tall bronze cylinder designed by artist Jim Sanborn. The top of the cylinder is inscribed with the names, life dates, and quotes from family members of the 7 people who lost their lives. Below that are names and quotes from the 25 others who were injured. During the day, the text on the cylinder may be read directly from the perforated screen. At night, a lone star at the center of the bronze cylinder will project the perforated text over a wide area to create a stunning backdrop with a contemplative central space. I want to encourage you to also watch my video about the Chris Kyle Memorial located on East Highway 191 frontage, just east of Odessa, another compelling place to visit while in the Permian Basin. Coming soon, we'll be taking a cruise through the oil fields and businesses after grabbing a cup of joe, of course. Ugly shoes, on the ground, unclassic road trip. Please subscribe.